It's thirsty Thursday. You're so thirsty, thirsty Thursday. Thirsty for knowledge, thirsty Thursday. Drink it up.
4 years ago, when I made the transition from working in a corporate office to working from home as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest challenges for me was the change in pace. I know many of you are finding yourselves working remotely or working from home for the time being, and so I thought I'd give you 5 tips to making it work working at home. First tip that I have for you is to get ready for work every single morning. Now, I'm not going to say that I do this every single day because that's just frankly not true. I will say that initially it was easy to keep up my normal routine as I left the typical workforce because I was already in that routine. However, as I stayed home more and I realized that I could manage my time differently and I could spend time on the things that I wanted to spend time on and work with more flexible hours, it kind of got easy to be a little lax in my morning schedule. But I will tell you is that the days that I get fully ready for work are the days that I become more and more productive. So I challenge you. Some days I come to work looking like this. Other days, I get halfway there and it ends up like that. In fact, more often than not, videos are taped exactly like that. Business on the top, relaxation on the bottom. But I challenge you, as you're going through this time of chaos and confusion and finding yourself in different environments and trying to figure out how to make work for you, I challenge you, get ready for work every single day. It'll make a difference in the way you feel, which in turn makes a difference in the way you perform. And thirdly, will make a difference in the way you show up for your friends and family. The second step to making working at home work for you is to change your environment. It's really easy when working at home to sit on the sofa or maybe even in bed, but changing your environment is key to changing your mindset and getting your head into the working game. So there's a couple of things that I do to change my environment. So first and foremost, every single morning, I always open up the blinds, let some sunlight in, change the view a little bit for yourself. The next thing I do is I change the environment by using some sort of essential oil, something to kind of liven my mood, depending on how I'm feeling. So I always make sure that I create a space that's conducive to concentration, creative thinking, and also something that's going to help reduce some sort of anxiety or allow me to kind of take those moments when I need to just take a deep breath and think, okay, what's my next step? So changing the environment with lighting, but also with scent is key to getting your head right and starting the workday successfully. The next thing I would say in changing your environment is, like I said, don't work from the bed, don't work from the couch. Find a space in your home or in a communal area that is going to be at a safe distance from others, but will allow you to really use that as your workspace as you are trying to work remotely for a limited amount of time. So if you don't have a room in your home where you can say, okay, this will be my office for the next 30 days, 60 days, or however long we're in this thing, then my challenge to you is to just find a space. I've set up here 2 TV trays and a comfy chair, and this can easily be a great workspace. So it just means it's a space that you kind of call your own, and you've determined that this is where you will come to do work. And so every day when you get ready to work, this is where you come. You're leaving home and coming to work. It helps to create that different space in your mind so that when you're sitting here, you know this is a place of work, It's not a place to play on the internet or watch Netflix. You know, it's just this is an area that you can really focus on your work. So that's tip number 2, change your environment. I don't know about you, but one of the things that I struggle with from working at home is that when I'm in town and I'm grounded or quarantined, I get distracted by all the household chores that need to be done. Things that typically would wait until the weekends or really until all the laundry piles up and I have nothing else to wear. And so this is something that easily can become a distraction when all of a sudden you find yourself working from home, because now these things are in your line of sight and they can easily become distractions. So tip number 3 for you is don't be distracted by those household chores. What I do is I set a timer, and typically your brain cannot concentrate on one single task for more than 50 minutes at a time. So when I'm working, I usually set an alarm for 50 minutes to an hour, and then I take a 10-minute break. And that doesn't mean that I take 10-minute break to go veg out or eat a snack. I take 10 minutes and I go and start one of those household chores. One of those things that I typically wouldn't be able to do if I weren't at home, but because I am home, it's staring me in the face and it's driving me crazy. So set your alarm and set aside time for these household chores. There's a lot you can do in just 10 minutes, and it gives you an opportunity to take a break from your work and change your way of thinking so that when you go back to your work, you have a more creative space. That's tip number 3. Tip number 4 for making working at home work for you is to get outside and get a little bit of vitamin D. That's right, take one of those 10-minute breaks and take a walk or read a little book after lunch. Whatever you do, get out and get some sun so that you can finish off your day with energy, excitement, and just feeling good inside and out. Using the outdoors is a great way to make working at home something that's manageable but also enjoyable. Step number 5 to making working at home work for you is to create a schedule. We have schedules at work. It's good for us to have routine. It helps to keep us accountable and ensure that we are productive. We've seen tons of schedules for this new homeschooling situation that all of our students are in. And so I'd like for you to share your working at home schedule with me. I've put mine below, and I'd be excited to see how you guys have scheduled your days. In addition to that, maybe you're not working from home. Maybe you're still in the office, but office traffic has changed and maybe you're limiting access to your offices. So what is your schedule like? What new things have you been able to accomplish now that you don't have as many interruptions as you once did? Ensuring that you have a schedule helps to ensure that you may remain productive and you feel accomplished at the end of the day. Tip number 5, maintain a schedule. And for those of you who are saying, Katie, you're dreaming. I have 3 kids and I'm at home with my kids. How am I ever supposed to get anything accomplished? Well, I'm sorry, I don't have kids, so I know that there's no way I can know what you're going through. But I also know that kids need structure too. And I've seen some of these great ideas and plans and schedules for these students. And so if we're doing it for our kids, we should be doing it for ourselves. But I do have a suggestion for you. I might not be a parent, but I do have this little guy, and I do have siblings and friends that all have kids. And here's my suggestion to you. This is a time where we all just want to help one another. If we know that we have friends and neighbors that might need assistance, it might make sense for us to take turns and for 2 hours a day, help a neighbor out. So what that might mean is that you contact me and you say, hey, Katie, for 2 hours, I need to be able to get some uninterrupted work done. Would you mind coming and just hanging out in my backyard for a bit while my kids play around? We can keep our social distance, but it allows me to give that time to my friend so they can get work done. And it allows me to get that vitamin D that I talked about, and I can enjoy the company of someone else's children that I can walk away from when I'm done. And in return, they can take Barkley for a walk, or maybe the kids can play with him for a few hours, or maybe they can feed me dinner, you know, anything that I don't have to do that now frees up some time for me to get some work done. So it's just an extra little tip for those of you who are like, I don't know how to make this work. So that these 5 basic tips have helped me when I'm working from home, and I am sure that they will help you as you try to maneuver this new environment that you're working in. In this time of crisis and confusion, you have to remember, always be willing to laugh at yourself. Enjoy. Now he's not gonna bark. I feel like I need to be higher.
That was recording, right? Please tell me that. Please. That has to go in the outtakes. You have grass everywhere. You have grass everywhere. Your back is all muddy. Your back is muddy, and your grass. Yeah, there's no way I can take this out. There's no. You have either poo. Is that poo? I think you might have poop on you. I think you might have poop on you. Oh my god.